Very good evening to you. I'm Rochelle Ferguson in London with a look at some of the stories making headlines. This week saw the launch of Africa UK, a national initiative aimed at encouraging the African diaspora to contribute more to Africa's development. To do this, Africa UK plans on fostering greater dialogue and engagement with UK-based Africans in the field of policy making and development. African diaspora assisting Africa's development. I have with me Ayo Johnson, a specialist in African affairs and equally director of Viewpoint Africa. Welcome, Ayo. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
I suppose on the back of that interview, the first question that I want to ask is how can Africans from the diaspora assist in Africa's development as a continent?
Well, Africa needs many, from poverty to institutional development, not to mention structural development itself. But more than that, there's an element to actually improve the gender inequalities that happens on the African continent, where women do have not an equal relationship with men. And the African diaspora here in the UK and elsewhere in Europe can actually use, one, the financial muscle that they clearly have, more so the technical expertise that they have to actually engage with the continent and see how they can improve those services. But the crucial issue is this: how do you understand the issue? That's one, and two, be able to engage with it more so, keeping on board the governments and their own agenda. How would you be able to tap into their policies to be able to deliver and make sure that the issues are addressed quite quickly?
Based on what you're saying, there are some people who think that social entrepreneurship is the way forward. They're saying, actually, you know, let's not worry so much about the NGOs and what the governments in these countries are doing as such, but let's look at people, individuals who feel that they have a solution, really going forward and thrashing out these ideas and saying, well, look, you know, this is what I can offer Africa as a diasporan, and this is what I intend to do, and I'm going to go ahead with that. I mean, do you think that social entrepreneurship is the way forward?
It's a start, it's a way forward, and it should not be criticised because they're mentoring programs, they're programs that actually take people on the ground in Africa through an exchange program of some sort to actually deliver some useful programs that would enrich communities. And also there's also the financial muscle. I want to stress on this because remittance that leaves the UK and other parts of the world to Africa is over $50 billion. It's a lot of money. That's more than Africa's combined aid support from the world. So it's a huge amount of money, a huge investment, and if you add that to the technical expertise which the diaspora population clearly have, I think they could truly make an impact. The question is, what is their resolve in doing so, and how quickly can they mobilize on the ground? It's yet to be seen whether some of the organizations that you just mentioned, that you went to the event the other day, whether they truly have the muscle to be able to deliver on the ground.
Ayo Johnson, director of Viewpoint Africa.
What is Africa UK? Africa UK is born out of DFID and comic relief's understanding that whilst we have a tremendously active development community in the UK, often when we talk about Africa, you'll have meetings about Africa where there is no African speaker and no African in the audience. And it's a recognition that there's something fundamentally wrong with that. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to reconnect the extremely active African diaspora who work in development with mainstream development. And it's not a question of trying to make the African diaspora more like mainstream development. It's more a question of making the two separate groups understand each other more.
We know you're best known for acting. What brings you here to the launch of this national initiative called Africa UK?
Well, I've always tried to maintain close links with Ghana, my country of origin. And so when I was asked to come here by the president of the Royal African Society, I hesitated at first because generally I get very tired of actors mouthing off in good causes because they don't often have expert knowledge. But this seemed to be a cause that I could speak about because it is something that I think everybody can get involved with, namely the activating and energizing the African diaspora in the UK.
I'm here because I think it's really, really important. I mean, both as a new politician, but also as a member of the African diaspora who's worked in the UK and also in Nigeria. I think that the diaspora has a huge amount to contribute both to UK politics, but also to growing the civic institutions in Africa. And I really want to help encourage diasporans like myself to take part in that process.